And we are live. All right, we are waiting for the people to file on in. I wonder if the way that I just set this up, I just learned something new on here. How to like tag the people in the on Facebook because it's not like it used to be when I first did it.
Mm-hmm.
And last week we was having the hardest time, and it did not. It did not.
So I'm clicking on you, and where are you live at? Are you live on Facebook now?
We live on Facebook.
Hey, Facebook people.
We are live on YouTube.
Oh, there we are. Yay. I forgot about the delay.
Yeah, it does take a second. That's why I just go ahead and start talking. I don't even worry about people getting in and all that kind of stuff. Um I am now about to start trying to tag the folks so that we can get them in. I did get some more information about what was the 51 part lady name? I just forgot.
Tisha Teese. I think Tisha Teese. I think that's it.
Tisha Keys.
Yes.
So I did get a few updates. She is definitely, her story is definitely going to be a major part of the topic of the day, which is love bombing guys.
Okay.
Whenever you guys get in, let's see. I'm so glad that you was able to come on the
Thank
show.
you. And
Um,
I came home and cooked real quick, right?
of course you did. Of course you did. Cause how else? How else would you spend your evening? What did you cook?
We made taco bowls, so there's shrimp, um, tacos, and it's not really a taco, so it's like a bowl, so kind of like those people that make those bowls, so like a chicken bowl and a shrimp bowl. So I did chicken, shrimp, black beans, rice, corn,
Okay.
uh, guacamole. Brought some salsa, and yeah, we're gonna do that.
That sounds absolutely delicious. I
Yes.
hate that you live so far now because you used to make me eat stuff that I would have never ate before.
This is true, but see, that's called opening up your palate and broadening your horizons, and I equate that to everything in life. Like if you keep doing the same old thing, you just might keep on getting the same old results. But if you
Serious.
add a listen, and if you add a couple things that open your palate, i.e., opening your minds, i.e., opening your heart, broadening your spectrum on things, then it's like, oh wait, I thought I liked this, but now that I haven't tried that, let me go on over here and enjoy this and partake a little bit more and see what that's about. And that's kind
Okay.
of that's kind of with everything.
Well, it definitely helped me when I started trying to like lose weight and stuff like that. Because remember, I told you they were trying to tell me that I had high blood pressure at
Yes.
first. And so that's what made me start like, okay, well, I'll change, some of the things that I'm eating and see if that helps, which it did. I don't have any issues as far as that's concerned at all now. But like trying like these different types of salads, because at the time I was working in the South Loop. So I was going to like Nando's, and some of my clients would go get, people with a little more money than me food. And
Okay.
it would just be like, oh. But but after I kind of like allowed myself to just try it once, I found a lot of things that I really did like that I thought I didn't.
Yeah, like last night we made that rice paper. Like how the Asian people would have like rice paper and it looks like it's clear. So
Yep.
we did like we chopped up some shrimp, cilantro, onions, seasonings, basil, and wrapped up the shrimp in there and seasoned it and put it in the oven and made like a dipping sauce over some rice, and it was amazing.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Exactly, very light, actually quite healthy because it only had like sesame oil, soy sauce, so it's it's about changing your perspective. And I hear so many people saying, well, I hate cooking. And it's like, well, that's because you feel like it's a chore.
Mhm.
And most people don't understand cooking could be amazing depending on how you play it. So I'm a fan of, you know, adding a playlist, whether you in a ratchet mood, you in
Yeah.
a loving mood, a soothing mood, whatever playlist you want to create you a playlist and absolutely add you some wine because to me wine goes with everything. Did I say everything?
And
Everything.
does. And
And by the time you are done, it's something about the aroma in the house. It's something about the way garlic smells, and then you add some shallots. Now, what's shallot? Shallot is like an onion, but it's a different kind of onion. And then you start adding aphrodisiacs to it. So before you know it, it's like, oh, baby, taste this if you have a partner, or you taste it yourself. And before you know it, you got a delicious meal.
mhm.
Everybody's happy, and it's totally changed your mood, and it gives you something to open up as far as like having a conversation because now you're more relaxed as opposed to like rushing or, getting a store-bought meal or something like that. And it allows you to see what you're putting in your food and in your body. And I can't tell you, like, people don't read the back of packaging, but there's so many different things in there that if you just took the time to cook it yourself, you could take out a lot of those things that are in packaged foods, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. And then, if we could talk about it for 2 minutes, let's talk about this Ozempic since we talking about, losing weight and bringing down our, is it A1C levels and stuff like that, because before it was for people with diabetes and stuff like that.
Right.
Now it's the drug of choice for losing weight and weight
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
And while it does work, there's tremendous amount of side effects to it that people are like, you know what? I'm not even blinking at that because that's not gonna happen to me. And it's like, dude, have you ever had your stomach be paralyzed before? Like that is no joke. And that's one of the side effects of Ozempic. And you're like, well, what's a paralyzed stomach? That means you have no control over your stomach muscles. That means you have no control of what's going on inside of your stomach. So you digesting food, we don't know what that's going to do long term, but
Oh.
the goal is I need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. And it's like, okay, whatever happened and I'm not knocking anybody that's using this as their choice. Not knocking it at all, but
Mhm.
if you're not eating healthy and if you don't have the right mindset that's going along with what you're using in addition to that, it's not going to stay because the mindset is still the same.
Right.
So that goes back to what I was saying about, you got to think about like what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're applying it. Same with food, same with things that you're tasting or trying new, even vacationing by yourself. It sounds like it's all a lot of different things, but the reality is if you're not open to receiving something better or doing something better, you're not going to do it.
You're definitely right. Because when I first started the whole weight loss thing, I wasn't working because of course this was during quarantine and everything. So it was easier for me to get up and move around and do stuff. And I felt like it because I was well rested. I didn't have a whole lot of stress. I could go and walk around or I could take my baby to the park and now we running and stuff, all of that.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And then when I got back to working, I worked in a bigger like building. So I had to walk around a lot,
Oh,
you
nice.
which was great. And then even when, my clients, would give me hell, that would be my manager would be like, hey, you want to go walk for a minute? I saw that, that kind of a thing.
Okay.
I would go and walk and all that kind of stuff. And it was very helpful. The job became overly stressful. I quit that job and
Okay.
gained 20 pounds back because I quit
Okay.
the job and then I started doing like I was doing my edibles and stuff. By the way, these are the edibles of the evening, guys. These are gummy worms, whole bag 125 milligrams.
So you just didn't send me any of those before the show?
You know what though? You
I
know what
mean,
I'm
I'm sure you probably didn't have time,
you
but
know
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying.
doing? Because actually I have some freshly baked brownies and I
Okay.
have some gummies and I will send you a brownie and I will send you a sample gummy pack as well.
Okay, sounds
Make
good.
sure you send me your address and I
Okay.
got you. I got you.
Okay.
Because I would definitely like to know what you think. But yeah, I wasn't my mind wasn't like heavily on it because it was like it had became so natural to me to walk around and move around. And of course I wasn't at home, so I really wasn't thinking about eating and I wasn't thinking about food. But then I was home. I ended up getting stamps, which meant that I could start cooking because I love to cook. It's like one of my favorite things to do, especially now more than ever. I watch more cooking videos than tea videos. And I know that that's hard to believe because I still be having all of it. But I still literally, like, if you go to my explore page on Instagram, you'll see all these different foods and all of these different, recipes and stuff like that. And I try them and give them to my family. I'm thinking about starting to sell plates because I enjoy cooking more than I enjoy doing anything else.
Okay.
However, once I realized, okay, you done gained that weight back, your ankle's starting to hurt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your knee is starting to hurt. You can't really drop down and get your eagle on when you done, had enough
You need to be
oil
able to
put in
sit
you.
down.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta hold on to my ankles to hold me down. You know what I'm saying? It's too much, and I gotta get it back. Now I did lose the 10 pounds, but what I am planning to do at the top of, well, tomorrow's next month, but Monday I am going to start back on the cleanse, and I will be documenting that a little more so I can get back into my size and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go back to taking my videos and talking about how terrible working out is, but I got her done.
Nice.
Kinds of things. It looks like people are starting to kind of pile in. Welcome back. Hello. I am here with one of my favorite aunties, Auntie Yanni, or Yanni Brown. Wind down with Yanni Brown. The Making Love Better Together extraordinaire, relationship coach, auntie, mama, cook.
Right. Auntie, mama,
All
cook.
the
I like
things.
that.
All the things. She is literally all the things. We have got so much stuff in the show. It's pretty jam-packed. I'm gonna just go ahead and get into some of the news. I don't know if you all heard, but Flint City Councilman Eric Mays did pass away. He was in his 70s. I believe he was like 74. It's being reported that he did slip away peacefully. So we are definitely keeping his family lifted up in prayer. We also need to be praying for ourselves. Yeah, so I don't really be talking about politics all like that because that's a major divide and people be weird, and I get it. I know y'all don't want Sleepy Joe or whatever, and I get that. I get it. But Trump is winning in his primaries for one. Joe Biden, he won the Democratic, support. But there are a lot of voters that are voting uncommitted. Uncommitted basically means that I'm a Democrat, I'm a vote, but I'm not voting for him. And most of those voters are basically saying they didn't like the way that he handled the war in Israel, and they're feeling like we're bleeding money.
I mean, it's probably a combination of all of those things, and I totally get it. I'm not the happiest. I'm looking at like what's going on in the Senate. All these different laws they're either creating and or getting rid of, and it's all stemming into telling us as women what we can and can't do with our bodies. A bunch of old men who don't know a clitoris from,
You hear me?
or clitoris from the vagina, basically. And they're telling us what we can and can't do. And if they had to be at home raising these children, then they would look at things a whole lot differently. That's just my thoughts and opinions. But
You ain't wrong.
It's difficult because as most African Americans, of course, we don't trust the government, we don't trust the banks. There's so many people we don't trust. And It's not about trust as more so it is about the lesser of the two evils. And I think a lot of people don't look at it's not just the presidency, it's everything underneath the presidency. It's your senators, it's your judges for sure.
Oh,
And
for
I think
sure.
a lot of times when people are voting, they're not thinking about the aldermen and the city councilmen and like I said, the judges and things like that. So now we're entering to a very, very, very scary time. Like I know we think this is a scary time, but if they allow this to happen all over again, it is definitely going to be worser. And I don't think people are really ready for that. I think that they are, but they're not.
Yeah, it's just so many things that Trump didn't get a chance to finish doing. While a lot of people are under the impression like, well, he was giving us money, so I ain't
What
really got
money?
to say.
Was he really, or is that the bait and switch? You know
And
what I
it
mean? It,
definitely feels like that since he's coming out with gym shoes and he's talking
it's
about, oh, the black people, they love me, especially after they're seeing me being persecuted and discriminated against. The man used the word discrimination.
he did, but that's because those are keywords that either AI, his publicist, and or whomever said, this is what you need to use to get the black vote. This is what you
Mhm.
need to get the black people to listen to you. And it's unfortunate that some people are actually listening. And it's like I said, it's a very scary time, a very scary time. And we don't understand. First of all, us as people of color, we don't understand the power that we genuinely have in terms of the voting power. Like I think we saw that, of course, with the last election, we saw the voting power, but the voting power has to then come with holding people accountable.
Right.
In terms of okay, now we need to flip this Senate situation because right now I think it's still Republican heavy. So now it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? Because the votes are still going to come in. The president can only do so much.
Right.
Um, he can't veto everything, even though we'd like for him to. So he still has somebody that he has to answer to. But in my mind, if we allow the latter to happen with that person that I'm not going to call, I think he's going to veto a lot of stuff. I think he's going to override a lot of stuff and sign off on a lot of stuff that
Mhm.
whether it's voted upon or not. And that's the scary part to me.
Yep.
As far as the LGBT community has come, I think a lot of that is going to be affected as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. It may be involving some burning of the house that is white. Yeah, we don't know. So
Yeah.
I just think we need to pay real close attention to what is and what ain't.
I definitely agree. And speaking of what is and what ain't, I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to watch, but Mia Copa is on Netflix. It is
Baby.
a movie by Tyler
Perry.
Jovan Perry.
Hmm.
Um
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, okay. So here's my question, because I have a question. Because everybody, to me, and I probably will get chewed out for this, but to me, it seems like everybody is a critic. Everybody has a degree in English and want to write these think pieces
you
on
hear
what
me?
it should have been, what it could have been. Whatever happened to going to the movie theater just to watch a movie
And just let the movie be whatever it
and
is.
just let the movie be whatever it's gonna be, and just either enjoy it or not. Not let's break it down. Not let's do this and do that. How about you just pick out what you enjoyed and leave it at that? The cinematography, my daughter pointed out, and I went back and watched it. I was like, she's absolutely right. Was shot phenomenally.
Oh yeah. It was
Cinematography
shot
was
much
great.
better than most of his movies have been.
Yes.
Yes,
And,
for sure.
it had a plot, it had a storyline. Did it go crazy somewhere in the middle? Absolutely. But I think we have taken ownership of this internet, and all of a sudden we're these experts and journalists and Pulitzer Prize situations, and we out here just slinging our opinions around, and the cancel culture is real, and it's like,
Well, okay, this the thing though. Tyler Perry is in like the same boat as
Tubi.
no, I wasn't even gonna go Tubi. I'm just saying he's borderline canceling himself for past transgressions because he is mentioned in some lawsuits. So
What
you know,
lawsuits might those be?
well, I
And is he mentioned?
he is mentioned. He's mentioned in the same lawsuit as TD Jakes. Um,
See, but when was the last time we heard anything about that?
Stay
Have
tuned.
have you noticed that that just kinda
It didn't. It
mm,
did. It
we
did.
shall see. You know,
Y'all.
I'm a firm believer of everything that's done in the dark, especially in the wave and age that we are in now, where everybody got video recorders,
Mhm.
audio recorders, and camcorders on their necklaces, their glasses.
Yes,
Everything that's done in the dark is definitely going to come to light.
for sure.
So we shall see.
I definitely agree. I thought that Mia Culpa had potential. The reason why I said it had potential is because, first of all, let's discuss Trevante Rhodes. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. The Lord
Just
sent
a,
him.
did you say the Lord what?
The Lord sent him. That came from God.
Sent him? Yes,
Oh
yes,
yes. Oh yes.
yes.
Oh yes. That was God. That was God because he been fine a long time and he just been quiet. Ain't gave us nothing. The last thing the man posted on social media is I did it, y'all. I'm going back to college. And you want to be educated?
Uh-huh. So when you finish with that, remind me to let's talk about toxic exposure on the internet. But go ahead.
I love that. Where are you when I'm coming up with topics? Anyway, we're not even gonna go there. Moving forward. Um, I loved him. I loved his acting. I love the fact that he only said a couple of words. I like the fact that he was telling her like he was just using phrases, and those phrases
Okay.
were enough for me because that man said, "Come." He
So
said,
so hear
"Trust."
me
I
out.
said, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it.
What I loved about it was, again, people don't want to point out the positives or things that are brought to light. What I enjoyed about the movie was he was a masculine black man who was very secure in his sexuality. And what I mean by secure in his sexuality, he was secure in what he liked and he owned it and he wanted other people to own theirs too.
Yeah.
Like, this is about pleasure. This is about me giving it to you in a way that makes you want it because I know you want it. And that takes me to the level of so many women who don't know that they want it. They don't know that they want that.
But we like it when they know when he know for us, though. That's nice.
We do like it, but
You know
but
what it is.
yes, yes, but that's why I love it because it's like, oh yes, he was a man who was like, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy, and I'm inviting you to come sharing this with me. I'm not trying to take you from this, and this. I just want you to share in this. And my takeaway from that was that paint. I told all my people on my page, I was like, listen, while you talking all these couples, you need to go get you some paint, get you some paint and a tarp, because again, as people of color, we're very rigid. We're very jaded. We say we like a whole lot sexually. We say we like a whole lot sensually. But I guarantee if you took a poll and said, how many people actually did what they saw in that movie prior to seeing that movie? It's going to be quiet because we
You
enjoy missionary. We enjoy flipping of the missionary. We enjoy the occasional, okay, let's do it in a different room. But nobody's really going out here. Well, I shouldn't say nobody because there's a whole group of us that are, but nobody's really going out here and exploring when it comes to their own relationships and sensuality and things like that. So that's what I took away from the movie, is that he was very secure about what he wanted sexually.
I
And
can
as an artist, hmm,
I can definitely agree.
and nothing about him said commitment. So I don't think he
At
misled
all.
anybody in that way.
No, he
But
didn't
but
even act
some
like
people,
he wanted her. Like my thought process is, bro, he is an artist. You looking at him, you see him, you see what that man look like. That man is a single man. You think you are the first and only person that he gonna paint a picture of? Wow. Please. Okay, that's for one. For two, You're not wrong about the whole not being that adventurous. I, in my brain, am adventurous. But when they
Everybody are.
pouring that paint on her, I like to die because I cannot stand stuff like stuff. I have sensory issues. I talk about it all the time. I never realized it how deep it is until I was an adult. Cause my mom kind of was just like, oh, she don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Or, just kind of like whatever. But like the way I feel about stuff touching me, making me, oh, it better not make me sticky.
Okay.
Oh,
But hear me out though. Hear me out though. It could be something else. It could be something
water
else.
is the safest place.
No. It doesn't even have to be water. It could be leather. It could be flogging. There are so many different avenues, again, that we haven't touched upon and or explored. It could be, BDSM. And that's on you on the giving side. You may not even be on the receiving side.
Yeah, because you can't beat me up.
Well, that's why they're safe words. And it's not even about the beat me up, it's about the pain that you can withstand. It's another word for it that I can't think of right now, but it's about your propensity for pain
Okay.
and how it can be a very sexual thing, i.e., choking.
That's cool.
See what I mean? See, so that's cool. But that has the potential, if you're open and ready, to become something else.
Hmm.
Or turn into something else, a different type of fetish or a different type of kink.
Well, you know what? Maybe one of these years I'll like
Oh,
somebody
she said
to
one of these years.
say
You
something that
better speak it into,
who
excuse
has
me,
this in it, and I am speaking it into
excuse
existence
me,
because it
excuse
could
me.
be this year.
It don't just got pee, it got algae, it got other people,
Dirty people,
dirty
disgusting
people.
people.
Yes. All of the things. But I think a lot of that has to do with what we're not standing on in terms of what we want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I've been guilty of it too. You can't say you want a relationship, but then you're doing everything that does not substantiate a relationship.
You definitely not
I'm
wrong.
just saying.
So speaking of relationships, let's go ahead and get into our topic, which is love bombing. Y'all
I
stay
like the terminology.
love bombing. You
So,
gotta
so what is love bombing? Shall we explore that? What is it?
okay. So I will give my definition as well as look it up. But my definition and what I believe it to mean, of course, is basically dropping the words I love you like a bomb. Literally. Like it could be at the most inopportune times. It could be, oh, your whole world is crumbling around you and you really, really need something from me.
Mm.
And I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, and now all of a sudden, all this time I've been around you, I've been doing the same thing I'm doing now. But now, because you need me, and if I walk away or if I do anything out the way, it'll ruin you. Now, oh my God. Oh Lord, I love you
See, I
so.
think we should we need to look up the definition of that. Like love bomb. Like what is that? Is
Okay.
there a
The action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection,
mhm.
especially in order to influence or manipulate them. I was talking about the manipulate.
Okay. That's crazy. Now, question for you because I can't see them. Do you have any comments in the chat?
I do not see any comments.
Okay.
Y'all on here, I see y'all, but I don't see any comments. Y'all ain't comment, ain't said nothing. Y'all ain't got nothing to say.
Come in and look, come in and say hello. Hey y'all, hey.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
Um,
comment, chat, ask a question. But yeah,
on
let's
my
talk
girl
about this
Ree,
love
of
bombing.
course. Ree, heavy on the manipulation. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hello, Key.
Hello. Yeah,
Hey,
heavy
Ree,
on.
thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. But no, so the reason why I brought up love bombing is because last week I spent a lot of time on the Risa Tisa story, right? So I basically tried to give you guys we're talking about love bombing, friend. So basically I tried to um I tried to give you guys a shorter version of what was going on with.
Than those 69 chapters?
Oh my goodness, because I watched it, but I watched it on fast. So it was like it was like times two. Because the girl talked very slow. It's
You
a
said you
great.
watched it on fast, so you sped up the
I sped it up.
okay.
I spread up the playback.
Okay.
I sped that up because I can't handle it. Excuse me, y'all. Nonetheless, always the more. Um, Long story short, the young lady met someone, dated them, short amount of time. COVID happened, quarantine happened. She wanted to be married. All she talked about was, the terrible relationship she was in before, how awful dating was before.
Where was she talking about this at?
On the first date at
Oh,
Cheesecake Factory. We're not
okay.
gonna stay too long on the recap though. So she met this man, this guy. He seemed like he was a good guy. He kept promising her things, promising her things, promising her things. Never gave it to her. Randomly out of nowhere, I love you. I want to be with you. We are talking about marriage. Now you're pregnant. Oh, I'm gonna be there. Oh, I got a promotion. Oh, I can't be there. Oh, you lost the baby. Oh, I'm so sorry. Terrible things. Lie, 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 lie. Nobody deals with him. Nobody likes him. The updates.
Not that nobody likes him.
Nobody likes him. His whole family don't. Nobody is looking for that man. If that man, let me tell you something. Listen to me. If that man was to not answer his phone for a long period of time,
Would nobody go looking for him?
ain't nobody looking for that man. It's so awful. Like, and got a twin brother that don't mess with him. Your twin don't like you, bro.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, see.
Your twin, your own twin. And then your other brother said that if he ever catch you, he running the fade. No.
Yes, to the Piscean nature. Well, well, Rihanna, let me help you because I'm a vintage Piscean. I think yes, I added vintage when I turned the age that I turned on Sunday, 56. Um, it's not that we're naive, it's just we are receptive to love and we want to give it. So it's not that we're naive. We see the people. We just hope that they will love us in the way in which we want to be loved. And unfortunately, that allows us not to be able to see the truth and or the BS. But that goes back to what I was saying about standards and standing on business with them standards. Standing on business with them standards. Because you have to, and you have to be able to walk away from anyone and anything that is not serving you or serving your ultimate purpose in life. And I think a lot of times as women who are, I'm going to say, lonely in a sense that you desire someone or is wanting a mate or is looking for love in someone else, that kind of leaves you open to the guy that's researched your whole Facebook page and can tell you how to love you because they've researched you. Because now we don't exchange phone numbers, we exchange social media pages. So we already can get to know that person kind of through their social media platform. But the truth is that's only what that person wants you to see in them or about them, even just like online dating. That's your persona. And I think a lot of times we don't get to know each other past the persona. And I talk a lot in my book that I wrote years ago about we rush to date, we rush to fall in love, we rush to have sex only to realize we don't even know that person and or like the person that we've actually fallen in love with, but we end up staying out of obligation in the name of love. And I call it waiting on the pizza man. So you know how you order now, this may not happen now because everybody's ordering Uber Eats, but I guess I can use that as the example. You order your food from Uber Eats and you're excited, you're hungry, you waiting on it. You're just like, ooh, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be fresh. I.e. your man, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be fresh, and you waiting on it, you waiting on it. And then somebody pull up and they knock on somebody else's door. You're like, man, that wasn't for me. Then somebody else come and they knock on somebody else's door. So you waiting with all this anticipation of what a thing could be. And sometimes the anticipation of a thing builds up and creates its own motion picture 3D with trailers and the whole nine. And again, you don't even know this person, but you done built up the hype so much in your mind that this person is all that in a bag of chips with some dip. But really, they just a broken bag of chips that stale. But we didn't research that in the dating process because we didn't date. We just had sex, or we just got busy, or you know what I mean, like we didn't take the time to actually get to know the person and or ask questions. What do you want? What religion do you practice? What church do you go to? Have you ever been I was gonna say have you ever been swallowed, but I'm not gonna say that.
I love
Um,
what you
right.
do.
Have you ever been, in bankruptcy? Have you had a home? Do you have children? Have you ever been married? What was the lowest point in your life? Like, I need to know how you can handle pressure. I need to know, can you handle my type of pressure? And, as a Piscean who's on this conversation with us, we are very well with pressure,
Mhm.
especially in the love zone, because we will bend over backs, we make magic happen, we will move mountains. But the reality is in 2024, and this is something my mother used to tell me all the time, and clearly I did not listen. She said, if you are not getting what you want, at least some of the time, from the person that you are with, sometimes, then you are wasting your time. And a lot of us are wasting our time because what men will do, and some women too, because I don't want to just put it all on men, because there's a lot of women out there that are cold with it. And
Mhm.
you said love bombing, they'll breadcrumb you. So they'll give you a little bit and then they'll take 10 things away. They'll give you a little bit and then they'll take things away. So it's
Yeah.
almost like you're waiting on the delivery guy because you're like, okay, I want that thing back. It's almost like a drug. I want that feeling back because that feeling was high, right? Somebody checking on you, somebody telling you you're special and I like you and blah, 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 blah. All the things that you want to hear, doing the things, giving you the conversation. And then all along they're breadcrumbing you, lining up, excuse my French, lining up they holes for lack of a better
Mhm.
term, because I can't call you on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because I got to call somebody else on Monday and Tuesday, and somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're not, when it comes to the Tisha Keys, whatever her name is, unfortunately, I see her. I see me in her. I see a lot of my friends in her.
Mhm.
Because it can happen. Because the real, real, real truth of the matter is, we all want to be loved. Now, we don't always know how to get to it, but the bottom
Mhm.
line is we all want to be loved. But as women, and I say this, you've heard me probably say it before, as women, we need to understand that we are the backbone. We are the backbone. When it comes to market research, they want to talk to the women. When it comes to hair products, they want to talk to the women. When it comes to any type of market research or any type of selling, they want to talk to the women because we have the buying power, number one. And number two, we have the backbone. When you think about, and I go back to slavery, because this is what I know,
Mhm.
women would go out in the fields and they would pick cotton, come home, wash the clothes, and then turn around and cook dinner. And remember, we didn't have electricity way, way, way back then. So all this was done before the sun went down. And they was popping out babies left and right. So clearly it was some sex going on.
Mhm.
And she still handled business. Now it's not that today because women are working just like men are working. But the reality is what are we standing for as women? We've fallen for a lot of stuff. But what are we standing for? If you say you don't want a man that smokes, don't date a man that smokes. Don't say, oh, well, he just smoked weed. No, no. You said, I don't want to date a man that smokes. And then these lists that we have. I want somebody with six figures. That's cool, but are you making six figures? And
That
then
part.
do you understand what comes with a guy that's making six figures or a woman that's making six figures? With those six figures, that man or that woman got to go to work. They ain't got time to be sitting down Netflixing and chilling because the time I'm over here, I'm missing money. And I'm not saying that the time is not valued. I'm saying what it is that you're asking for, you need to be clear with those intentions. And then, and again, this is something that I need to do as well. Write it down. Write it down. What you say you want a God fearing man, but what does that really mean? Because they could be God fearing, but that don't mean they go to church and they can still be a hoe. So define what it is you want and then stand on that. And anything that deviates from that, that may not be what you want. But we so busy falling for the little nuggets. We ain't even going for the chicken strips. We going for the nuggets.
And that's men and women because it's so
Yeah.
much belly aching on these podcasts. Oh, you know, women don't want no man if he ain't got no money and this, that, and the other thing. And women are so superficial. And it's just everybody hate the women. And then all of the women, not all, because I know a lot of podcasters and a lot of people that do content such as yourself and other people that do still love men and don't have to bash them to get their point across. But
I just think we need to be open more to what it is versus what it's not. You know, there are a lot of podcasts like that are real big on telling women, meaning men podcasts, that are big on telling women what they need to do. And women are like falling for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Of course, pick me.
But here's the thing. Where's the podcasts that are holding men accountable for all the pee in the pool? Where are those podcasts? Where are the podcasts that are saying, you know, y'all out here real bad, real bad?
Those podcasts are the podcasts that they only post shock value pieces and snippets of that make the woman sound like, you know, she basically just want a man to take care of her or another
Or who
daddy.
doesn't?
But okay, follow me because this is where it does not connect, it does not click for me. Okay. In my opinion, from what I watch, okay, what I'm saying is, oh, you're not feminine, you know, y'all don't do this, y'all don't cook, y'all don't clean, y'all don't take care of this, and y'all don't this, that, and other thing, right? If I do all of that, right? When I say that I want a protector and a provider and a person that not necessarily takes every worry away, but if he finds a way for some ease to come into my life, he gonna bring that ease in there. Now it sounds like to, and I'm gonna be honest, and this is not gonna be nice, and I'm sorry, but to the broker men or the men that never stood a chance in the first place, it's, oh, you're a gold digger. Oh, I'm gonna treat you nice and take you out and all this, that, and the other thing, and then you probably ain't gonna give me none, but you gonna go get somebody else some. I don't know if you saw, not too long ago, I posted on Facebook, this man who met me, I don't even remember where or how. That should tell you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, when he met me, I wasn't celibate at the time. So his course of this is how I'm going to get back to talking to you is you posting all this and we should be together by now. And I'm just like, sir, we never did talk to each other, been nowhere. We've never, interacted with each other. So I don't know what you mean. I met you such and such years ago, and you mean to tell me you've been single this whole time and not dating nobody or talking to nobody? I said, I'm at my business. I handle my business. Oh, so when I met you, you were celibate? No. What are you talking about? Why are you asking me that? The man then goes on to block me. And this is after he sends a paragraph long message. Now, did I read that message? Absolutely not. I wish I would. Baby, when I realized that you blocked me, I stopped paying attention. I tuned it completely out. But the first couple of sentences was, so I was going to take you out. But for lack of better words, because he was very raunchy, and I don't talk like that on live. But he was like, but you was going to bust it open for whoever you was busting it open for at that time.
See. Okay, so this is what I was talking about when I was talking about toxic stuff that we allow in our feed, in our mind, and blah, 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 blah. So you have all this toxic energy out there, and it's coming at us left and right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All you got to do is open up your phone and scroll, and it's like there. When do you shut it off to say, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do to stand on what I want? That guy that sent you that message that was doing all of that extra, read all about it stuff, at the end of the day, there was some woman who was going, because that's not his first time trying that. So He didn't try it somewhere else and they went. So he figured he can try it with you. And that's the majority of most people in their communication. It's like, oh, well, this worked over here. So let me try it over here. And they
Mm,
just keep going through life, trying it with no intention of being, what's the word, consistent with their intentions.
word.
So, and one question that I always ask women, what do you want? Because if you don't know what you want, you'll fall for anything. And women are real quick to tell you what they don't want. I don't want this,
Mhm.
and he got to have this, and I went, okay, got all that. But what do you want?
Right.
Because if you don't know what you want, then you don't know what's going to be open and available to you. And I guarantee you, most people that have this list, their husbands or husbands to be probably aren't on that list. He might be a nerd. And let me just say this for the records, ladies. Don't underestimate a nerd. A nerd will rock your whole world and leave you hanging on the side of the bed with your thumb in your mouth. So don't underestimate the nerds. I'm
Believe
just
me,
saying.
that is not the issue with me or any of my friends. We honestly do not care about that kind of stuff. You not being a super popular man per se is not that is I understand that there are a lot of women that are there for that. Baby, she don't like you. See, that's what I always try to put out there because that's really important. And I think that
You
everybody
meant that too.
should
You
be
meant that. You listen, you said that like you meant it.
baby, she does not like you. He does not like you. You not her type. You're not his type. That this whole idea, oh, they don't like me because I'm not 6 feet tall. That's because the girls that you like don't like you. Pick some girls that like you. Find you somebody that like you that you like. Why do
And
you
I
do
listen,
that?
and I say that with men and women. You know,
but 100% because women have the same problem. He keep calling me fat. Well, what did you think was gonna happen when you dated that man that ain't never dated no big woman, but you looked small because you had your Spanx on and you wasn't bloated that week and you had just lost your 10 pounds
if you only had face shots.
and you only had a face out? What did you think that man was gonna, baby? Yeah, that man call you fat. Yes, he does, because he didn't know that you was big. I ask people what about. Yeah, that's a good question. That's
What
a good
about you draws that type of person you want? You know, is that for me?
no, like in general. He said he asks people. That's Uncle L. Hey,
That's
Uncle.
hey, I think that happens a lot too. Because what about you? You know, I hear a lot of people say, I'm open to dating, I'm open for a relationship, but everything about their body language says something different.
Yep, I know somebody specifically. I ain't gonna say no
Uh-uh.
names or nothing
Don't
like
don't
that.
say
I'm
no
not gonna
names.
be like
Don't
that.
don't say no
But I
names.
know somebody specifically that says that.
I speak to everybody. I flirt with everybody. That's probably
Mhm.
part of my problem, but I do because there's an engage. Listen, there's a reason, a season, a lesson, and a lifetime, and in all of that, you may have some great friendships and some amazing relationships, but you won't know that if you're closed off. You won't know that if you're closed up. What are you smiling about?
I'm laughing at one of the comments. I'm not gonna put the comment up because it's gonna make it very obvious. I love you too. I'm gonna just put that. I love you too. Um,
I can't see the comments.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Uh-uh.
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. But no, nonetheless, you're not wrong. I definitely think that you should be open to a lot of things. I do think that a lot of the ways that I have watched you interact growing into becoming a woman, because all of my aunties, first of all, let me just put this out there. My mama don't have no sisters, no like blood biological sisters, right? All of these aunties, all of these cousins, all of these people, that are related to me somehow, some way, through that way, are women and men that I watched as I grew up. They provided something for me in my life. Not necessarily always money, not necessarily anything, but a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these are different ways that women move, not necessarily the way that you should move, but the different ways that women move. And in my rearing and watching you at the shows and stuff like that, I think that it pushed me to feel a little more comfortable by myself. Like, we could be out and nobody else is dancing, but I like this song. I'm finna have myself a good time.
Please and thank you. I'm gonna dance like ain't nobody watching.
I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna walk around and stuff like that. And then even like some of my dealings with men, I noticed that I've never seen nobody get like aggressive with you and having a conversation. And you can say what you mean and then, push off. And I'm great with that with men. Now with women, it'd be different. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for you. But with men, I don't really, like, I tell people all the time, I don't argue with no man. Are you crazy? I'm not, and in public, and I don't even know you. You're a crazy person. You're a crazy person. I just don't, because I just, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to be cute. And then of course, staring them in the eye and stuff like that. And I noticed that winking, that is not safe, guys. Let me tell y'all something. Where's the cat? Can y'all see my eye? Do not wink unless you're sure. Because even if you don't realize that you wink, like, I don't know, maybe you had a couple of shots, maybe you wasn't paying attention. And
what does the wink mean?
Looking at the person and winked. Things can happen.
Gotcha. So you spoke earlier, and I wanted to just go back to, I've noticed that we haven't for a very long time, probably not ever, because we don't have safe spaces, but we don't allow in our relationships to be safe spaces for each other, whether they're in our friendships, in our relationships, in our family ships, in the ships that pass through the night. So, we can't be soft. You talked about being soft. We can't be soft, because then at some point, depending on who you with, that may get thrown back in your face. Men can't be vulnerable, because at some point, why are you crying? It's going to be thrown back in your face. And I think somehow the way we've been taught has not always been the right way. And I think if we're ever going to grow, like I see Making Love Better Together growing, we're going to have to allow those spaces. And I think a lot of people want to model their relationships after other people and do what they see other people doing. But I think we have to do in relationships what works for your relationships, that allows you to build and grow together. And that may not be what works in somebody else's relationship, or your grandparents or your parents' relationships. I think it's what works for you and that man and that woman. That's why, and I hate to use it this way, but let's just put it out there. So if you see like a Caucasian couple, for example, he may be a stay-at-home dad. She may be a breadwinner. There's no problem there. He got that little red wagon. They all at the grocery store, and he just shopping. Now, some other things may be happening in their relationship, but that works for them. You don't see him putting it on blast. You don't see it on social media. You don't see her tearing him down. White women will put a man through medical school in a heartbeat, through dentist school in a heartbeat. Why? Because at the end of the day, guess what he's going to do? Take care of that family. Now, again, they may have some other issues.
See, and the only problem that I have with that comparison with us, now, I don't agree with the idea of throwing nothing back in nobody's face. Do not get me wrong. I want to be very clear there. I'm not even the kind of person to do that. Not in no relationship, no type of relationship. You my friend. Even if I'm mad at you and we're having a disagreement, I don't have to talk to you. You're my friend. I don't have to talk to you like that.
Absolutely.
You my man. I definitely don't have to talk to you like that. That's a lot. I get that. However, the idea of, okay, this white man will put this white man through medical school and he gonna do all this and that's absolutely fine. However, Black women, the trauma runs so super ridiculously deep. I'm not giving them a pass, but I am saying, through the crack epidemic, through even Jim Crow, you have seen that from that black woman, doing whatever she got to do to lift that black man up, to hold him down,
Absolutely.
to do this, to do that. And for there to never be a return on her investment, not necessarily financially, but her ending up raising all these babies by herself and still got to be the breadwinner. So now I got to be the stay at home mom, and I got to work, and I got to do all this because you got the job and you left. You were gone.
Absolutely.
You never came
Absolutely.
home. You know what I'm saying? I think that excuse me, y'all. I think that the family dynamics are just different in that way. I also believe that white women or other ethnicities are taught how to date the type of men that they want.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying? They are taught those things. My mom, yeah, she taught me dating and stuff like that, but that was a radical idea. You know what I'm saying? And no shade, but my mama was stone cold Steve Austin with men for the most part. To me, for what I can see, even when she was hurt, even when her feelings was hurt, who
Nuck if you buck.
know my feelings is hurt.
You hear me?
Everybody ain't gotta know my feelings is hurt.
Nuck if you buck. Because
100%.
yes,
And let me tell you something. It was some knucking and it was some bucking going on.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
again, but then to me, that goes back to not having these safe spaces, not having these vulnerable spaces to even get to the trauma, to discuss the trauma, to get over the trauma and heal from the trauma. Because we're too busy going at it. You know what I mean? We're too
Right.
busy bumping heads. We too your mama says she here. You heard all that?
Right. Love you.
All right. So it's a very real thing. Um, you listen, that's exactly why we got to break generational curses, but it starts with, and I can only speak to women in this regard because I am a woman. It starts with how you feel about you and
Word.
how much you love you. And if you love you the way you say you love you, then now I got to do X, Y, and Z that keeps this from entering in my world or tearing down or anything that disrupts my peace.
Right.
But that takes there's levels to that. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I think the sooner we can recognize that there are levels to that, there are experiences that need to be had to evolve you into the woman that you are ultimately going to be or meant to be. And I think
Right.
we discount those experiences as traumatic. And I'm not saying that they're not traumatic. By no, like if you ever heard my real story, you'd be like, well, damn. And then well, damn again. But the reality is, I had choices. I could let those things dictate who I was and who I was going to become. Or for me and my peace of mind, I forgave those people because I didn't want to carry
Hmm.
that baggage. I didn't want to carry that trauma. Yes, those things happened to me and they happened through me, but they didn't define the amazing woman that you see in front of you. Because then if I did that, then they're winning. And in
Right.
that regard, I chose not to let them win. I chose to say, okay, yeah, those things happen to me. Now let me go talk to other women about how to help them so that it doesn't happen to them.
Right.
And I think because somebody talked about generational curses, and I think that's how we get to that. I think we have real conversations as women. I think it's holding each other accountable as women. Like, okay, well, when you finish with that, then what are you going to do?
Right.
Okay, I get you. You fell down today. No problem. Got you, girl. But you can't stay there.
But I think that turns into the issue of not having the right people around you and making conscious decisions on who you have around you and the things that you are adding into your life. Everybody has traumatic experiences. Everybody got something generational going on with them, especially in the Black community. Everybody
Yes, girl,
does.
please. Some of us got a 7-piece matching luggage set.
But to not be mindful of that, to not kind of look at that and say, hey, okay, I can see how this may have affected you. And to be honest, a lot of this whole be a better person thing, all of that stuff is new. It's new for me. Because to me, I was a good person, that's enough. It's enough. You know
I
what
didn't
I'm
slash
saying?
your tires. That was enough.
I never slashed no tires. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never put nobody in jail. This is enough. it took some time with myself because I have always loved myself. I always thought I was okay. Me, who else? Nobody. But however, it that doesn't make it conducive to dealing with other people and having relationships with other people. I think
Absolutely.
that the older that I've gotten, excuses versus choices, we can't. Yeah, right. We can't. True. But a lot of it is like deeply, deeply ingrained. So you have to choose. You do have to choose and pick
And
and choose what you're gonna deal with and what you're gonna say, okay, this is something that can go, in the back of my brain.
and let me just be clear. I think sometimes a lot of us aren't ready. You know how you face a thing. And when
Mhm.
you're really ready to face that thing, now you know some decisions got to be made. Some choices, as Elliot said, has to be made. And now
Right.
I got to do some stuff different. The reality is some of us aren't ready for the different. Some of us aren't ready to deal with the it's that's oozing out of our closet. It's easier for me to deal with the scrolling on the Facebook and somebody else's drama and somebody else's trauma, because if I deal with my stuff, then now I know that so and so ain't no good. That tells me, oh, I do need a better job, or okay, maybe I do need to be a better this or better that.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
like when you know better, like when you genuinely know better, oh, now I got to do better. Like I got to make some sacrifices, I got to make some changes. And the thing is, some people are trapped in trauma because that's where they're comfortable. That's where they get the most pity. That's where they get the most, oh, woe is me, woe is me. But like Elliot said, at some point, you have to choose. You know,
Mhm.
we could blame our ancestor, we could blame our parents, we could keep blaming them. They dead and gone, some of them. And then now what? You can choose better. You can do better. But
Right.
you gotta want better before any of that can happen. We went down a whole different rabbit hole.
That's okay. That's okay. Um, Before we get out of here, because we will be getting out of here soon, I just wanted to give y'all a little tea. Not a little tea. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. This is what I really wanted to go ahead and get into. That was one of the most important ones. Actually, it's gonna go with what, yeah. Sometimes toxicity is the warmest blanket, and sometimes people want to go ahead and rip it off, like Lil Rodney, who is a music producer.
Now, this isn't Rodney Jerkins, is it?
It is not Rodney Jerkins.
Okay.
His name is Little Rodney Jones or something like that, but not Jerkins. I know it's not
Okay.
Jerkins for sure.
Okay, cool.
So, um, really briefly, apparently, before this 75-page lawsuit, he was working with Puff Daddy, and he was working with him on this last album that just came out. I
Oh,
believe
the
it's
Love
called
album?
Love Album, right?
Okay.
So he was working with him, and then Puff Daddy said he wasn't gonna pay him. He wasn't gonna do him right.
That'll do it.
So he asked, like, okay, but I gotta go fund me, this, and this. I'm trying to get this man to pay me. Baby, I don't know what happened to him the other day. He must have got in contact with Cassie and them lawyers. Cause the man done put out a 75-page lawsuit. He is literally naming names and then redacting them and describing them in a way in which there's no way you don't know who I'm talking about. Case in point, a Grammy Award winning singer that got into legal trouble for assaulting a Bajan, and by Bajan, that is a Barbados. That's what that means, Barbados, Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Billionaire. What Barbadian billionaire do you know that got assaulted, and who assaulted her?
Mm.
That's a Grammy. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, but how many years ago was that? I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
Go on.
He's mentioned in the lawsuit for being around when there were underage girls at a party. That's one. The other one, a West Philadelphia rapper that dated Nicki Minaj. Puff Daddy's supposed to have, dealt with him.
Who is that? You know, I don't know none of these people.
Meek Mills.
Oh,
Allegedly.
allegedly. Got it. Okay.
Um, then there was who else? More important than who he's naming, because let's get to the meat and potatoes. He claims that Puff Daddy threatened him and said, "You think my guns don't bust? I shot up the club in 99." Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Club New York was shot up in 1999, right around the time that Shine, the rapper, had just come out. At the time, Puff Daddy was dating Jennifer Lopez. After the shooting, we found out that there was a young lady that had been shot in the face, and then a couple of men that were also shot. At first, reports were stating that it was Puff Daddy that was doing the shoot. Then reports changed and became that Shine was doing the shooting.
Because he went to jail for that, right?
He did go to jail for that and got out a few years ago, not that many years ago. Nonetheless, everybody knows that Shine took the charges. That has always been the secret or the rumor, right?
Mm-hmm.
A week after the shooting, Jennifer Lopez broke up with Puff Daddy, and she ain't been seen nowhere near him since, right?
Mm-hmm.
The young lady that was shot in the face testified at the trial, stating that Puff Daddy is the person that shot her. Her doctor, who had to take bullet fragments out of her face that were seeping into her lungs, he testified that when they brought her in, before they could put her under, that she was screaming that Puff Daddy shot her. After Shine went to jail, Puff Daddy had to give her a settlement. He had to pay her out of his own money. No corporations, nothing.
This was before the liquor.
This is before he had the money like he got now. He had to pay her, right? Mm-hmm. She did an interview since this lawsuit has come out.
Oh.
Well, okay. Not even an interview. I'm going to just be honest with you. It was a TikTok video that I just so happened to find with one eye open and one eye closed last night. So
scrolling while you were sleeping.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I had to get y'all some information. I've been working a lot, and I don't be having time like I used to. I was trying to get y'all some information on this. I was trying to find some things, and the Lord was like, "Let me go ahead and bless you real quick." Now that lady started talking.
Let him use you, girl. Let him use you.
Like what do you mean, baby? This man has slashed her tires several times, or has had her tires slashed several times. She has had to move several different times after all of this is going on. She alleged that Jennifer Lopez had to carry the gun into the club and give it to Puff Daddy. The reason why that is believable, because a part of the lawsuit with Cassie, he was making her carry guns too. So the man is claiming that he had been sexually assaulted on a yacht by Cuba Gooding Jr., which Cuba Gooding Jr. is known to be a little handsy. I actually know a woman who told me that she met him back in the day. She's a little bit older than me, but not like an old lady. She old enough to have been partying when he was,
in his prime.
Yeah, when he was in his prime. And she met him, and he kept like groping her and grabbing her. She ain't but this big all the way around. So it had to have been noticeable. You know what I'm saying? Because, when you're a little wide, a little big outside, I expect to bump into you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't have bumpers. There are no sensors. So I could accidentally bump into you. I will give you that I bumped into you once or twice. The third time, I'm going to know you did something. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that little thing, she knew immediately.
Allegedly.
I believe her. I believe her because she has like literally nothing to gain. She's not even trying to sue the man. Okay. She's just like, this was just in like casual conversation. That whatever she say that man did that to her.
Gotcha.
So there's that. And then so Puff Daddy. The whole thing that's going on with Tyler Perry, the TD Jakes, everything, that's all Puff Daddy stuff. They are R. Kelly in that man. It is going to be a show about surviving Puff Daddy. They don't put that man's son, Justin Combs, in it. said that he had something to do with whatever was going on with the sexual assault. The man said that he just kept on trying to get him to fondle himself with him.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot. Oh, and Young Miami, Carisha,
oh.
her cousin is named in it for sexually assaulting a man too. Now, I am not a victim blamer. I just do sometimes want to know. The fact that you already started laughing make me feel bad, like it's gonna come out bad, but I'm not trying to come out bad, guys.
You said sometimes I just want to know.
I sometimes just in like Hollywood,
Probably weird.
I be needing to have a little more understanding. All these people was touching and doing this stuff to you and stuff like that, and you kept going. But I understand why you kept going back, because I had the same conversation with my friend earlier. It's a lot of different things. It's a lot of the different things that happen in Hollywood and stuff like that. If you're in a room at a party and somebody grope you or do too much or something like that, and you just try to leave or walk away, if that person reacts and gives a scene and makes it like you did something, now you're blackballed. Now you have a problem, right? But do you have to go back over to their house? Again, I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying that he went over there for that. I'm not saying that. So, I'm just saying, you're an adult, they're an adult. Do you have to go to the yacht party and the man was trying to fiddle your piddle while you were doing what you was doing? And he was putting people on to fiddle in your piddle, and then he was telling you how he was doing it to people. He mentioned one Grammy Award winning artist that had a successful residency in Las Vegas, and he also performed at the Super Bowl this year.
See, that's a lot. And again, I'm not coming to nobody's defense, but we don't know what that life is like.
And that's exactly what I said.
And it could be a party that turned into something. And everybody just kind of went with it, like, what in the ham Sam is happening?
That is exactly what that gospel rapper said. Can't remember his name. It escapes me. He's like one of the first gospel rappers to come out. Lecrae.
Oh, okay.
He said that he went to a party and it wasn't nothing weird, but they told him, hey, you need to leave by around midnight. And now he like, oh, I'm grown, I can hang out and stuff like that. I don't have to do what y'all doing, whatever. So he goes into the basement of said party. Now,
y'all say all it takes is for you to go into one room.
But he went into the basement. I guess it was like a studio or something. So he was working on music and, having himself a good time, whatever. He gets through. He like, oh, well, I realize it's, 12:30. I'm going to head upstairs. Get out of here. He goes upstairs. It's a lot of piddle fiddling.
And nakedness
upstairs. They told that man that it was going to be some butt nakedness. He was there. But the man, you know what he did? He ain't like it. He walked on about, he walked up on a, I don't know. Nonetheless, always the more y'all, pay attention to what's going on with Puff Daddy. I'm sure he gonna be good and canceled soon. It's the last day of Black History Month. I do want to give y'all a Black History fact. Did y'all know that Jackie Jackson of the Jackson 5, his wife, Enid Jackson, beat up Paula Abdul and pulled her up out his Ford Explorer and swinging her by her hair through the drive-thru? Yeah, that did happen. It is public knowledge. You guys can Google it. It is really a thing. So this is what happened. The Jacksons are not known to be faithful men. None of them are known for that. That is not like a character thing. Nobody be like, oh, he was such a good husband. Nobody says that about none of the Jackson men.
None of that. None of them.
And nobody ever says that. That has never been a rumor. That has never been none of that. So boom. moving forward. Jackie was always, that's the one that was doing this in that video for 30,000 hours.
Centipede.
Irritating Mike. So he met Paula Abdul. Excuse me. He met Paula Abdul after being married to his wife Enid for years, right? Enid was your typical beautiful, wife, living her best life, happy, doing her thing, not really paying attention. So Jackie was taking Paula Abdul out on dates in public.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
everywhere. Because of course this is before social media, so you can't Snapchat your nigga and see, he got shorty out. You can't look at her story and catch your man body with a smiley face over it. So it had to be real hearsay. He went on a double date with I cannot remember the name of the Jackson that was dating Whitney Houston when she came out with Saving All My Love for You, the song she wrote specifically about that man that was married, that Jackson man that was married. We're not going to get into that. I'm not going to go. That's another Black History fact. I'm come back for that. Don't worry about that. Anyway, they went on a double date with Paula Abdul, Whitney Houston, and the two brothers. Mm. And that's when, news started getting to the other wives. And one of the other wives called Enid and said, yo, man is at the drive-in going to see a movie with the Laker dancer girl.
The Laker dancer girl.
The Laker dancer girl. Because at the time, she was a Laker dancer girl.
Okay.
Enid got in her truck because he took Paul out in the family car.
Oh.
So you went to the movies with car seats in the back seat and you was cool. You thought this was safe.
Maybe you put the car seats in the trunk.
No, it's her fault. She got beat up because it was her fault. This is your fault. You knew that you shouldn't have did it. Anyway, so she pulls up to the movie theater and she see them in the car. She's pulled smooth up. She get out the car. She opened the passenger door. Oh. She snatches Paula Abdul out. And this is where this move comes from, guys. Black History Month. This is the first time you see two very fair-skinned women slamming each other. Well, Enid was doing all the slamming. Paula didn't. Enid did it. Enid tore her up so bad that Jackie got out the car to help Paula. You know how they say, you catch me fighting the bear, help the bear. He was helping the bear. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he goes to try to help her, and Enid gets infuriated. Pissed.
And then she starts slinging him.
Pissed. And she gets in her car and accidentally hits Jackie. Now, this is literally right before that last tour that they did. Now, if you go back and you look at like Jet Magazine and stuff like that, you will find
he's in a wheelchair, right?
He was in a wheelchair because he had got into a car accident. Now, was it an accident?
Maybe.
Probably. Like maybe she didn't mean to break his leg, but she was trying to scare that man. Okay, so, but he wasn't in the car for it to be a car accident. Nonetheless, always the more you know.
I'm not mad at that, T. They give you something to do. Go do some research. Go do some research.
Yes. And lastly, I really, really have to get this out. Madonna is messy boots, okay?
Not messy boots.
Damn ridiculous in real life. So, according to new reports, Madonna, everybody knows that she is doing this last little tour, this what is it, the Celebrations tour? That was probably Taylor Swift. And I don't know. It was a tour that I didn't want to go to. Okay, it was one of those kind of tours. Nonetheless, so she's doing this tour, and she's here for the girls, and the gays and the trans and the LGBTQRS TP, you know what I'm saying?
All the
So
alphabets.
all those people, and I don't mean no harm because I love y'all too, whatever. She does a tribute to all the people we lost too soon to HIV and AIDS. And do you know whose picture she put up?
Oh.
Luther Vandross was a part of the tribute. His estate has sent her a cease and desist immediately. Because for one, that is not something that they have ever said. Now we do know that when he lost all that weight, we was nervous about him, and we knew Luther was a diva, honey. He couldn't stand Nita Baker or En Vogue. He gave them hell on tour because he didn't like their clothes. He felt like they was doing too much in their songs and that they was upstaging him.
Yeah, I heard none of that.
Nita. He could not stand Nita.
Listen, I heard none of that.
He could not stand Anita Baker. He could not stand her, but he liked her more than he liked En Vogue. So nonetheless, always the more we knew that he was, a little spicy, but nobody had ever said anything about that man having HIV/AIDS. Now we did think that maybe he had the diabetes because he did get real small, real fast, but he looked very healthy. That excuse me, miss, what's your name? Yeah, when he was killing that, you know what I'm saying? He had lost all that weight. We was concerned, but we was just like, well, maybe he got his insulin regulated. He gonna be straight. Everybody was shocked, but he did pass away.
Insulin regulated. Father goodness.
If you got the beatus, you got to regulate the beatus. Insulin, which is what? Sugar, which is why we call. Oh, right. You heard about him like I told you that he didn't like Anita when I found that tea. This is another moment in Black History Month facts. I promise y'all I am going to start a new series called Black History Tea. That's what we're going with. We're going to do with Black History Tea. A lot of stuff y'all don't know because social media wasn't around. They couldn't tell all the business. It is so many people that y'all have no idea were nuts. Did y'all know that the lady that threw the grits on Al Green? Did y'all know she was married and had 4 kids? I got it from Al Green himself. He said it. His words. He said he had a whole story. That's going to be another part of Black History tea. Nonetheless, what's going on with you, Auntie Yanni? What do you have that you got going on now?
I'm doing a lot of things virtually since that seems to be the direction that we're moving in. So I have a joy challenge that is coming up. If you want more information on that, you actually have to email me because I am over I'm going to invite you to this and invite you to this, and then you don't show up. The thing is, if you want to be part of this challenge, you actually have to email me to get the information. And that's Yanni@YanniBrown.com. And all it is a 30-day challenge where we're just basically acknowledging and being present in the joy that we have every day as opposed to complaining about what we don't have. Because joy is a choice every day. So we're doing that 30-day challenge, and that's for women only. And that stemmed from Cocktails and Conversation that we had on the 22nd, which kind of it was a phenomenal conversation with women, and it just turned into an extension because they were like, we want more. And that's where the joy challenge came from. And then I'm also going to be in Tennessee at the end of March talking to a group of women about, self-love, self-care, and what that actually looks like, and walking in that, and what that balance looks like. That's in March. So those are the 2 things that I have coming up immediately. And March is tomorrow.
What was that website? The email address, I mean?
Yanni@YanniBrown.com. Okay. And you just have to put challenge accepted. But you also have to do the work too. So don't tell me you accepting a challenge and you don't want to do the work. Because we can't change anything if we're not willing to do the work.
So y'all should definitely join the Joy Challenge. I'm going to go ahead and I guess send you the email so I could be a part of it as well. I would like to do it. I wasn't able to come to the Cocktails and Conversations because I was doing this.
I know. You had a good time though. It was a really good time. What I love about what I do is I create a space where we can have real conversation about
Mhm.
real issues, and it's not just me out there. Think of it as, remember intimate discussions?
Yes.
That's exactly what that was. It was intimate discussions virtually.
Y'all don't know. Intimate discussions. First of all, I was very, very young. I was like in the earliest of 20s. I had to be like 22 when I started going to that. And then I started working with you and stuff like that. This is way before Nugget. When I tell y'all that it changed my perspective on so many things in dating and relationships by being able to hear different people, singles, couples, all of this, all these different people get together and have an open dialogue between each other, men and women having a conversation, nobody being disrespectful, nobody, you know what I'm saying? No weird vibes. That was so lit. We need that so bad. Like, so bad. That needs to be like a thing that happens again.
I may open it up to men, because I'm calling it cocktails and conversations. I have a couple of dope bartenders. I have a friend here that's a bartender. I have my daughter, of course, who's a bartender, and we will create a signature cocktail because I'm not there to make the sangria. So,
Y'all don't even know that sangria used to be lit. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Ain't nothing like Auntie Yanni's sangria. Fire. I wasn't even a drinker back then. This is before let's get a fifth of Hennessy so I can go dance and stuff like that. Tea.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
I drink wine, baby.
Yeah, and
Look
like I said, we're having real conversations with moms. We're having real conversation with, like I said, women that are experiencing loneliness or women
yeah.
that are getting older. And we talked about that toxicity in social media and how that plays and wreaks havoc on your everyday life. Because if that's all you're tuning into and you're starting your day with negativity, wow, guess what the rest of your day is going to look like. Then we're
Mhm.
also talking about, getting older and what that looks like in terms of your body change and having kids older in life, and what does dating look like for real for somebody who is 40 plus,
Mm.
and how do you go about that? So it's like real time conversations dealing with real issues and a vast amount of women sharing their wisdom. So that's
I
what I
love
love about this conversation. And it's real and it's raw and it's honest. One of the things, and again, it's a safe space, so I can't say what they said exactly.
that. Mhm.
But one of the things that they talked about was, we talk about joy, which is how the challenge for joy came about. Like, we talk about it, but are we really living it? Are we really exploring it? Or are we just existing in the day to day of functionality?
Mm.
And joy is something that you have to seek. It's something you have to experience. It's something you have to choose. So that's how that came about. They were like, okay, we want more of this because it ends up enlightening. And then we always end, just like we did with intimate discussions, we ended that session with what's your one takeaway.
Right.
So, women shared that. And again, I believe in breakthroughs. I want everyone to know what unspeakable joy really, really means from this perspective of, you know, outside of your kids, outside of your marriage, outside of your day to day. What gets you going? You mentioned cooking earlier. That's joy. There's joy in that. And there are so many men and women that don't know joy. They don't know happiness because they're too busy partaking, fueling, and feeding in this vast negative energy that is like full circle. And I think it also, comes up with maturity too. Like, where are we in our maturity level? I'm a
Mhm.
big proponent of, I'm 56. I may have not lived as long as I have lived. That's the truth of the matter. And at some point, your time becomes very, very valuable. And you don't want people to waste it. Neither do you want to waste it. So
Mhm.
that's why choosing joy is something that's important. Waking up, not saying you're going to wake up every day happy because, hell, let's be honest, life be life.
Real life.
And you're not always happy every day, but you got to find a joy in that. It could be a butterfly that land on your shoulder. Joy. It could be a cup of coffee. Joy. It could be, the lights, all the lights were green. Something as small as that. And I think we're missing out on monumental moments of what joy could be. And not once did I talk about sex, which was really interesting. In that, believe it or not, in that conversation with women, a group of women, Not once did we talk about sex because that wasn't important to our souls at that time.
That's what's up. Y'all, please make sure that if you want to join the Joy Challenge, make sure that you do send challenge accepted to Yanni Brown at YanniBrown.com. She also has books.
Where they at?
You ain't got books on you?
They right here.
I was gonna say, I know you got some books on you. I ain't never seen you without a book.
Yeah. I also am thinking about doing a cooking session too, a cooking cocktails and conversation. And that's where I send out the menu for the cocktails, I send out the menu for the dinner, and we cook together because, like I said, people think cooking is a chore, but it really can be an amazing experience with some yummy food.
Yeah, no, and you're definitely not wrong. I don't know. I feel like a completely different person when I'm cooking. I noticed that I do that sometimes to make myself feel a little better. Like when because everybody deals with sad days, days that they don't feel like themselves, they not okay. You
It's
know,
a great stress reliever.
I really do feel better when I go in the kitchen, even if I don't know what I'm gonna cook. I'm just cooking whatever's in there, and I come up with something. Or I make something up to
Absolutely.
just to put together. I feel so good when I'm tasting it, and it feel good. It feels and tastes good to me. You know what I'm saying? The added bonus is my baby eat everything I cook.
That's awesome. And let me just add, it also, like I said, it opens up your palate. I made a shrimp pesto pizza. Now, did I know what I was doing? No, but I just knew what I thought would taste good. So I threw some pesto on, a pizza crust with some olive oil and some garlic and threw some basil on there and chopped up some shrimp. Threw it in the oven with some cheese and voila. It was amazing.
Yanni, Yannie, not E. I put it up there for you. Just I. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said E. I think I was reading what you wrote. But
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely to the baking.
yes, definitely the bake. Like I don't know. And
It's
it
just,
also because it's nostalgic to me because you know that I grew up with my grandmother and she
mhm.
was basically the caterer to all the churches in Gary. So
Well,
we
so let's can we talk about that for a hot second?
mhm.
We are talking to a generation that didn't grow up with any of that.
You're right.
So there is no connection there. So part of the joy is creating your own traditions and creating your own collaborations and showing your own children what dinner looks like. We grew up on Sunday dinners. These kids have no idea what Sunday dinner really is and what all goes into it. They're eating, but they don't understand the stories, and that's where you learn your history, and that's when you learn that Auntie May May used to wear this red polish and
Mhm.
she was the floozy out the group. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to hear like bits and pieces of those stories. So since they don't have that anymore, this is a great opportunity to start creating that with your own kids and your own grandkids, and so that you have something called legacy
Right.
down the line. And then that turns into a whole moment. And now you got, you and all your cousins coming over the day before Thanksgiving and you cooking this big meal. And it doesn't have to be a traditional meal. It could be whatever you want, but it's
Mhm.
still that coming together part. And I think that's where the company name came from. It's not just sexual making love better together. It's everything that encompasses love and how we really need to come together to collectively restore balance to love. And I'm not just talking about sensual relationships or relational love. I'm talking about familial love,
Mhm.
sisterhood, brotherhood, all the loves and neighborly love. We grew up knowing our neighbors.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those things anymore. And it's like, okay, what will we have to share with the family and the generations to come if we don't pay attention to that or connect with that?
Yeah, I moved to the suburbs, not of necessarily Chicago, but a suburb nonetheless. And I feel like it's a time warp, honestly. In Chicago, I did not let my baby play outside, at all. I did not interact with the neighbors at all. Kano, you can't come out and knock on my door for anything because I don't know what you own. Like but it was like that where I lived. Now where I live, my baby's best friend is across the street and they play all the time. The kids play in my front yard even if Nugget is not here. You know what I'm saying? Like my baby can be in my backyard where I can see her from my kitchen while I'm cooking. You know what I'm saying? And that brings me joy.
Now
People
hear
that,
me out though.
mm,
Excuse me. What I'm finding, that's sacrifice. That's what our parents did. We sacrificed so that our kids can have better.
yeah.
And I'm noticing, not everybody, because that's putting everybody in a category, but what I'm seeing, and this is again, this is not just people with kids, but I'm seeing a lot of selfishness in
Mm,
all the ships.
mm,
Me, 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 me. What about me? Me, my, I, me. And they're not willing to give anything. They're not willing to give anything of themselves. They're not willing to be parents. They're not willing to be adults. There are so many things that we're not willing to be because there's that generation of me, my, I.
mm-hmm.
And that's scary because people depend on you. And if it's only always about you, what village are you creating that's going to look out for you when you need? If it's only always about you.
You ain't wrong.
I grew up with a village.
Mm-hmm.
You know who my sisters are. You know who my family members are. Your
Right.
mama's one of them.
Right.
So when you talk about who got your back, who can you call in the middle of the night?
Mhm.
Not just for money, but who can you call in the middle of the night? Like, come get me.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people have that
Talk me off the ledge.
because they're not willing to be that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, talk me off the ledge. Yeah.
No, you are definitely right. I did notice I noticed the importance of that after having a kid. Like I have always been the kind of person, I will be your friend. I will be as good of a friend to you as I can be. You start getting weird, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You'll look up. I never existed. I'm just in your mind.
Mm,
It never happened. But now I'm in a place in life where everybody in my life, and this is not to sound transactional, but everybody in my life serves a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like they are in my life for a reason. I deal with them accordingly for a reason. And then there are the people that I may not necessarily be able to get rid of because I don't care for the way you treat me per se, but I understand your purpose. And so I deal with you in that.
and that's understandable. It's like the audience. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everybody can't have a front row seat in your life, but some people they cool in the balcony. Like you cool with them observing,
Right. From
you
afar.
know, from afar. And then it's some people that's backstage. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's some
Exactly.
people that's part of the crew. So
Right.
as you mature, you learn to place people, and I don't mean it like I'm saying it, but
Mhm.
people kind of put themselves in different positions in your life. And like I said, some people you can call in the middle of the night, some people you can't.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong. Well, guys, what I have going on for now is edibles. I have gummies, I have lemonade, chips, Cheez-Its, brownies, cookies, juices, whatever you could possibly think of, it can be infused and get you lifted and high and happy.
Nice.
So with that being said, you can definitely hit any DMs. If you have my phone number, you can text. I do deliveries and I do give or set up shipping opportunities. Everything is made fresh with love, as you can see. I got the arm. I got the arm, baby. If
Do
I
I
ain't got
got the
nothing
arm?
else, baby,
I got
I
the
got
arm.
that
I
arm.
think I got an arm.
So, you're definitely going to eat good. You're definitely going to be good. I'm also offering infused experiences where I can come to you and give you an infused meal. So, we
Mm,
can discuss pricing separately. I am just like y'all least favorite hairstylist that will show you a picture of a hairstyle and be like, inbox me, boo. Inbox me, boo. But yes,
So
I
speaking
do
of infused food,
offer.
we should definitely collaborate on a blindfolded food infusion for couples.
I love that.
Yeah.
I always love your ideas, boy. They always sound so lit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta get we after this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk.
Yep.
But nonetheless, always the more. Where can they find you on social media?
All of my social media platforms are at Making Love BETTR.
So
At MAKINGLOVEBETTR.
and that is where you can find her on everything.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
all the things y'all need to go and follow Auntie Annie. She the one and
And see, we didn't discuss sex at all tonight either. I'm getting so much better.
oh, I'm slipping on my pimping. I've been celibate too long. Oh, oh, it's been too long, Lord.
Nope. Just
I
save
need
it
to
for
get
another
back
show.
egg. That's the problem.
Save it like
Oh,
for another show. Because what I'd like to talk about is, and just jot this down or play the replay back. I'd like to talk about, you know how they say women can't do what men do when it comes to sex. So get your back broke. Getting your back
oh
broke.
my God. We're gonna talk about when you can come next on the show. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
Yeah. Because I often wonder, you know how they say, well, why can't we have great sex and then still want the other things too as women? Because we're not taught that. We're taught that if you do that, then you're a whore and you're not necessarily viable for marriage, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, really, Auntie
So
Trent.
why can't we like and be excited about sex just as excitable as the men are and be sexual beings, but still want all the other things too?
Yeah.
So just something to think about for the next show.
Flower too.
Huh?
I'm a delicate little flower too.
Yeah, it may flip you on your back.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
you guys know that you can find me at Tia Chanel on pretty much everything. Instagram is Tia_2 Chanel. You can find me at T with the T on the Tickety Talk. And what? Bye, Kenny. Talk to you later. That's fine. You don't even have to act like that. My auntie was taken aback by needing to be cracked like an egg. I do flip like a pancake.
I'm sorry.
I want to be a mango so bad. Nonetheless, please make sure you are following us everywhere. We will be back next week. Nico was out. We did definitely miss him, but he should be back next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank you so much, Auntie, for coming on. I always really, 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 really love having you on the show. Like, you are definitely by far one of my favorite guests, not just because we always have good conversations anyway, but also you with me when I'm right. Wait a minute.
She said what she said.
Took a turn. This took a turn, didn't it? Nonetheless, I am grateful that you were able to come on. I am grateful that you all tuned in. Please make sure that you guys tune in next week at 7 p.m. Vibes the Remix. We are definitely back. Love you guys. We're gonna go ahead and go.